always thought alien life would come from the stars, but it came from deep beneath the Pacific.
Monster movies were a staple of the 50s and 60s, these low-budget things no kid could resist. Stuff like Godzilla versus the Thing, Mothra, It Came From Beneath the Sea. Then it sort of got a little bit bigger budget. Monster movies became a big risk for studios. Well, now there's a new film, Pacific Rim, from the brilliant director Guillermo del Toro, and he really knows how to do it. He's really a 12-year-old kid at heart, and the movie that he's made is for 12-year-old kids everywhere.
Pilots, ready to connect.
Let's go fishing.
2 pilots engaged in neural bridge. Ready to activate the Jaeger in 3, 2, 1.
The basic premise is the kaiju are these big giant creatures, these monsters that have suddenly risen from the sea, and they are wreaking havoc on Earth. It's a major disaster for Earth. And so the government and the resistance out there are trying to figure out ways to deal with them, to stop this invasion. And what they do ingeniously is create their own monster. So they create these giant, I'm a 50-story tall robots, but they're powered by humans. It's still the human element that's at work here in fighting the kaiju. So these robots are called Jaegers. And in each Jaeger, there are 2 pilots. And basically, the pilots are inside this enormous, enormous robot controlling it. And the 2 pilots have to have their minds synced up so that they are doing everything in concert with each other. That's the real trick here. One of them is a real hotshot pilot. He and his brother are the original pilots in one, and it all goes awry, and the brother is killed, and that sets up the whole premise here of Charlie being this down-on-the-luck pilot who's out to, prove his worth again on his own, basically. What they do is they team him up with this Japanese woman. Now, she is a trainee. She's never really done this before, but she's perfectly in sync with this pilot. So the 2 of them work together, and they are the crux of this movie. They are the ones that make it work. The actress is Rinko Kikuchi. She was nominated for an Oscar for Babel a few years ago, and she's terrific in this film. But this is not a movie about actors or human beings or anything else. This is really a big, giant, balls-out monster movie. And it's like we haven't seen before. I'd say this is one of the greatest monster movies I've ever seen. That's because Guillermo del Toro really knows what he's doing here. He's a master craftsman, a master director. He also co-wrote the script. He knows exactly what fans and fanboys expect from this genre, and he really delivers on it. And man, the special effects in this are better than anything I've seen all year. The visual effects work of all of these artists that were involved in this movie really, really pay off. But what it is a movie. And it's got this terrific cast that also includes Idris Elba, a wonderful actor who plays the leader of the resistance. He used to be the commander of the whole fleet, and then he was knocked off that job, and now he's so determined to kill off these the kaiju that he becomes the leader of the resistance here. And also Charlie Day, who's basically in there for comic relief. He's a scientist guy who really thinks he knows what makes these monsters tick and how to deal with them, and he really doesn't.
So what's the deal, little fella?
Well, that's classified. So I couldn't tell you, even if I wanted to. But it is pretty cool.
If you're a 12-year-old boy, I would say go. If you're a fan of monster movies, I would say go. If you can't stand the thought of seeing monsters battling each other, stay home and read a book. But for the rest of us, this movie's a lot of fun. About as much fun as you'll have this summer in one of these big, giant blockbusters. So go.